Good evening, you are watching ReNEWS in English. I am Sona Tumanyan. Establishing strategic relations in China, the Secretary was in Tehran over the weekend. And of course, the continuation of the Little Ones fairy tale begins on September 1. Schools have opened and what to expect on the program will follow next. Prime Minister Pashinyan in Shanghai, Pakistan at the crossroads of diplomatic and strategic relations. Weekend in Tehran, Security Council Secretary Armen Grigoryan deepens Armenia-Iran ties. Trump officially closes USID. State Department releases August 8 documents. September 1st, a new chapter for little ones on the school chalkboard. Classes begin. ChatGPT, psychologist or assistant, beyond the boundaries of trust. Armenia is actively balancing its international relations, strengthening ties with the United States while simultaneously engaging with China, a move seen by some as a delicate reorientation amidst evolving regional dynamics. Just this January, the Armenia-US Strategic Cooperation Charter was signed in the United States, with Armenia's foreign minister leading the delegation. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken represented the American side. This comprehensive charter outlines cooperation across various sectors, including economic, trade, transport, and energy. It also addresses defense and security, bolstering democracy, justice, and inclusion, among other key areas. Fast forward to the President and Armenia's Prime Minister is currently in China. This visit underscores a parallel reality where Armenia is enhancing relations with the U.S. while simultaneously seeking engagement with other global powers, potentially signaling a weakening of traditional Russian influence. The Prime Minister's trip to China is for the 25th summit of the Council of Heads of State of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. The summit has provided a platform for a flurry of diplomatic activity. The Prime Minister has held bilateral meetings with the leaders of the host nation, as well as with the presidents of Russia, Turkey, and Azerbaijan. These engagements highlight Armenia's strategic efforts to diversify its partnerships and adapt to a shifting geopolitical landscape.
Putin, Aliyev, Erdogan, Pashinyan, and leaders from 24 other countries in China for Shanghai Economic Cooperation Forum. The day before, Armenia's Prime Minister was welcomed with flowers and dances in Tianjin. Ahead of the organization's 25th summit, Pashinyan first met with the host country's leader Xi Jinping. Also at the table were our ministers of foreign affairs, economy, education, science, culture, and sports, as well as territorial administration and infrastructure, along with the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly. Following the meeting, it was announced that Armenia and China are establishing a strategic partnership and have adopted a joint statement. While the Armenian authorities are moving towards the EU, Nikol Pashinyan reaffirms Armenia's desire to join the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Nikol Pashinyan also met with Ilham Aliyev. In the 8-second footage published by Pashinyan, there is no sound, only an official message about the meeting. Both leaders emphasized the positive dynamic established as a result of the recent summit in Washington. Pashinyan also met with Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan. They stressed the importance of steps aimed at ensuring stability and peace in the region and agreed to continue dialogue in the near future. Pashinyan also had a private conversation with Vladimir Putin. The Russian president expressed hope that the discussions within the SCO summit would be useful and substantive.
We haven't met for a long time, and many questions have accumulated, both internationally and between our countries. I hope that our meeting today, as is always the case when we meet, will be meaningful. I'm very glad to see you.
I am also glad, Vladimir Vladimirovich. It is always very pleasant to see you and talk. We, as always, have a busy agenda, as well as today.
There are videos of the Pashinyan-Putin meeting standing. At some point, Lukashenko joined their dialogue. Vladimir Putin also met with the Turkish president during the summit, discussing issues related to our region as well. During the conference, the country's leaders delivered speeches. Ilham Aliyev spoke about the Zangezur corridor, saying it would become the middle corridor. The Shanghai Economic Cooperation Organization Summit is a 2-day event. Tomorrow, Nikol Pashinyan will participate in the parade in Beijing dedicated to the 80th anniversary of the Chinese People's War of Resistance against Japanese aggression and the World Anti-Fascist War. He will then travel to Japan. Simon Hovhannisyan, ReOpen Media.
Armenia and Pakistan have taken a major step forward, officially starting diplomatic relations. This happened at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Tianjin, where they signed a joint agreement. This is a big deal because Pakistan was the only country that hadn't recognized Armenia as an independent nation. Before the summit, Armenian Foreign Minister Ararat Mirzoyan and Pakistani Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar talked on the phone. They discussed working together on things like business, education, and culture. Pakistani Foreign Minister Dar said they both agreed to follow the rules of the United Nations and work together to improve their relationship in many areas, including tourism.
Today, with the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Ishaq Dar, we announced a significant development. We signed a joint communique on the establishment of diplomatic relations between the Republic of Armenia and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. With this important step, our governments expressed their desire to develop mutually beneficial cooperation in accordance with the UN Charter, and their readiness to promote constructive engagement in multilateral forums.
Beyond the Prime Minister's recent visit, the past weekend marked a significant period for Armenian-Iranian relations as high-level officials met in Tehran to discuss regional developments and bilateral cooperation. Armenia's Secretary of the Security Council, Armen Grigoryan, held key meetings, including one with Ali Larijani, Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council. Discussions centered on recent regional developments, where Grigoryan highlighted the August 8 agreements. He underscored that the unblocking of economic infrastructures would strictly uphold principles of territorial integrity, sovereignty, jurisdiction, inviolability of borders, and reciprocity. Grigoryan also met with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. Both officials emphasized the August 8 agreements as a crucial step towards peace. President Pezeshkian noted that recent high-level interactions, including his visit to Armenia, effectively addressed uncertainties in Iran. Further strengthening the dialogue, Grigoryan met with Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi to discuss regional developments and the importance of maintaining peace. Additionally, Grigoryan held meetings with Kamal Kharazi, advisor to Iran's supreme leader and the chief of staff of the armed forces. These engagements underscore a robust effort by both nations to deepen their strategic partnership and contribute to regional stability. By the way, in a straightforward release, the U.S. State Department has outlined the documents resulting from President Trump's August 8 meetings with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. The released documents include a joint statement from the Azerbaijani President and Armenian Prime Minister regarding the Washington meeting, a memorandum on the crossroads of peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan, a memorandum between the U.S. and Azerbaijan to form a working group for a strategic partnership charter, and two memoranda between the U.S. and Armenia, one on a capacity-building partnership at the crossroads of peace and another on a partnership in artificial intelligence and semiconductor innovation, and a memorandum on energy security cooperation. President Donald Trump has decided to cancel a foreign aid package totaling approximately $5 billion, which includes funding for USAID, peacekeeping missions, and international organizations. The New York Post reports that Trump plans to use a rarely evoked legal mechanism unused since 1977 to implement this decision. The cuts would notably impact $3.2 billion in the USAID program funding, along with millions more from the National Endowment for Democracy and the State Department. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has reportedly initiated the process to close the USAID agency, citing efforts to improve government efficiency as the reason for this move. Alexei Klimov, director of the Consular Department of Russia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, announced that the department is considering opening consulates in Kapan, Armenia, Aktau, Kazakhstan, and Samarkand, Uzbekistan. This follows an April statement from Maria Zakharova, official representative of Russia's foreign policy agency, who noted the complex specifics surrounding the opening of a Russian consulate general in Kapan. Moscow had anticipated reaching concrete agreements on the timeline for its opening by May. By Prime Minister's decision, Karen Andreasyan has been appointed as Armenia's representative for international legal affairs. This position has been vacant since March 6, following the resignation of Yerishe Girakosyan. The appointment comes shortly after Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan dismissed Liparit Dermeyan, the head of the Office of the Representative for International Legal Affairs. The summit in Tianjin is making international headlines as analysts suggest Beijing aims to form a new economic pole to counterbalance U.S.-led systems by fostering ties with Eastern Hemisphere nations. President Xi Jinping stated the summit's goal is to ensure agreement, promote cooperation, and develop a growth plan. During the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit, Xi announced China would provide SCO member states with 2 billion yuan, approximately $140 million. In grants and $700 million in loans over 3 years. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen revealed a clear roadmap for deploying foreign troops in Ukraine. She stated that the EU and the US have already agreed on security guarantees. A multinational force could include tens of thousands of European service members supported by American command, intelligence and control. A meeting of EU and NATO leaders, including those from France, Germany and the UK, is scheduled for September 4 in Paris to discuss Ukraine's security guarantees. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz commented that the Russia-Ukraine war has not yet reached the stage of military defeat or exhaustion. He emphasized that diplomatic efforts cannot come at the expense of Ukraine's capitulation, as such an outcome would endanger other nations. Do you trust ChatGPT or your friends? What purpose do you generally use this application for? Does trust have limits, or do you value and appreciate human resources more? You want a psychologist, you meet ChatGPT, you talk, and it turns out you told it everything. Would you tell a human? Let's hear the psychologist's opinion and the report.
ChatGPT has become a part of many of our lives. We ask it what to eat, what to wear, where to go on vacation. The artificial intelligence bot has several 100 million visitors a week. For many of us, it replaces a listener, a friend, sometimes even a psychologist. Now, let's ask ChatGPT a few questions together to understand what advice it would give me if I am in a bad mood. Call a loved one, read a book, go for a walk. The bot offered me these solutions, but ChatGPT gave 16-year-old Adam Ryan a different recommendation. On April 11th this year, Adam committed suicide by the urging and advice of artificial intelligence. Adam's parents have sued OpenAI for inciting their son to commit suicide. Adam had written,
I want to leave my rope in my room so someone finds it and tries to stop me.
And the bot had urged him,
Please don't leave the rope in a visible place.
And how do our citizens use ChatGPT?
There was a time when I didn't hear the answer I wanted, I got more upset and put it aside. In many cases, it is possible to get better answers. Of course, it is not comparable to a human. If you feel bad and there is no one nearby you can talk to, maybe you will turn to ChatGPT. Maybe. It's possible. For example, what kind of opinion does it ask about? For example, I don't know, clothes, combinations, things like that again, questions. It's not going to lead to a good place. In any case, one should not forget about the human factor, and one should not forget that it is a robot. And after all, you're communicating with a robot, and as many cases in the world have already shown, it, especially among teenagers, has a very negative impact. My close friend, for example, does that every day, writing, sharing, communicating with it, and so on.
And do you share with it?
No, I don't share. I have people close to me with whom sharing is more pleasant and brings more benefit than sharing with ChatGPT.
And what do experts think? Is it right to turn to the bot when you are in a difficult emotional state? Psychologist Marine Mikhailon believes that one should carefully weigh things before sharing experiences with the chat.
There can be data leakage, and such cases have already happened when people's personal data, people who use ChatGPT a lot as a psychologist and told their secrets, later that data leaked. Such a precedent already exists. Artificial intelligence does not have empathy.
According to the psychologist, people turn to AI when they want at least someone to simply listen to them.
One needs someone who, at that moment, will be able to respond to them immediately, who can have a good conversation. In reality, artificial intelligence conducts that conversation, but somewhere that's an imitation of a conversation because there is no live communication.
Psychologist Eva Ohanian agrees that a human can best understand a human. An inanimate computer and phone cannot empathize with a person with real emotions.
There are clients who turn to ChatGPT. I definitely know, but still, they come to me and re-ask. They won't trust people. They won't want to go out, for example, for a walk with friends, go exercise. They will sit and communicate with their virtual friend.
No matter how much artificial intelligence has become an inseparable part of all our lives, experts urge us not to blindly use the omnipotent technological tool and not to forget about the natural intelligence given to all of us. Ani Hovanesyan, Stefan Tigranyan, ReOpen Media.
Yesterday, we bid farewell to summer vacations, and today is a holiday. Flowers, balloons, expectations from a new life. Tearful and smiling, excited and already tired. The new course of the little ones' lives from the school desk. first love and disappointment, literate and curious, new notebooks, new friends, and many memories. It's the diary of school life with chalk on the blackboard of life. On the occasion of Knowledge and Education Day, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan and Minister of Education, Science, Culture and Sports, Sean Andreasyan, congratulated school children, emphasizing their message to them: study well to live well. His Holiness Kargin's second blessing, the occasion of the Day of Knowledge, Writing and Education, urged students and educators to strengthen themselves in love towards God and country, so that they may use their acquired knowledge with high national consciousness to serve the welfare and progress of the people. This much for today. I'm Sona Tumanyan. Stay informed with ReNews. Good night.